First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Good morning. All right, do you want to try this, Andrew?
Good morning. Oh, yes, I think so. Let me just tell you who's on. Rachel is on one. And
all right, so just to give you an idea what we're going to try here this morning and see how it goes. You never know, but we're going to try what we call No Phone Screener Friday. So I'll just take calls all morning. We have no idea what we're getting.
even the guests.
Well, no, you're going to have to handle that. You'll have to handle those. We'll figure this all out. What is the topic with Rachel?
It is Biden's executive action.
Okay, well, this involves the Second Amendment, unless you're talking to the president who says it's not a Second Amendment issue. Rachel Sutherland, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, the president's saying that his executive orders on guns really don't infringe on the Second Amendment. The NRA and other groups beg to differ. And he said yesterday that no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. He gave the analogy of yelling fire in a crowded theater. But look, the proposals that he put out yesterday don't really have a lot of teeth in them.
Right,
I mean,
right.
There are.
You wouldn't think that. By the way, everybody's complaining, but
yeah, I don't get it either.
And by the way, none of this changes anything in New York State. We're already as far as I know, anyway.
You have a red flag law?
Yeah, the red flag I think we already have here.
I think like 19 states already have red flag laws, so he's calling for that. His actions yesterday really didn't have anything to do with red flag, except for they're going to roll out a legislative proposal or a blueprint, I should say, for states that want to do that.
And then there's the ghost gun, which I guess is home kits where people can make it. They don't end up having serial numbers, and
that's right.
I'm not sure that can be done in New York either. I don't know the answer to that one. I have to look into that.
That's the one that you make with the 3D printer,
or a kit that you could purchase.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Right. I hadn't heard much about ghost guns before. Apparently you can, and he wants them regulated. Also regulates pistols with stabilizing braces. And that apparently was the contraption used by the Colorado shooter. So, but again, the gun rights advocates already panning this, but also people who want more gun control.
Right.
It doesn't go what they would think is far enough.
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to see, and Biden may get pressured to go forward, but he's always been someone who has, he's never going to go far enough for those people that really want to just end guns altogether. And the other thing gun rights people will say is that anything that was suggested wouldn't have changed any previous shooting.
Well, yeah, but then again, the idea of the pistols with stabilizing braces, and I don't know much about that because I'm just not a big gun person.
Right.
Apparently the Colorado shooter used that. So, look, again, I think this is definitely a time for the president to take a hard line on guns, but it didn't really add up to that because really the background checks legislation, the House passed, still sitting there. The Senate, he's calling on them the lawmakers to pass those. I seriously doubt it has that kind of support.
Okay, interesting. And this all comes at a time where in our backyard, Remington Arms employees are starting to be called back after that company tries to rebuild. Interesting stuff. It definitely hits home up here, Rachel. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Have a great day, Rachel Sutherland from Fox News. About 40 employees have been called back, and we're talking about maintenance workers. And all of this has happened because the union and New Remington have reached an agreement to. This is kind of what has happened. They've reached an agreement to reach an agreement. Are you following me? Basically,
reached an agreement to reach an agreement.
That is correct. So they've reached an agreement that they will move over the course of the next 60 days to reach a collective bargaining agreement. But they have agreed that the United Mine Workers Union is the union that will represent the employees. They will be recognized, and that's a big step because it allows Remington to start prepping to restart. Andrew's making his way in here. He'll be in studio this morning, as we'll just as we're running with no phone screen Friday.
What? Why are we doing
no
this?
phone screen? Why do we do anything, Jeff? Why do we do anything?
Because there's a quota, and you have to do so many a day to work.
That's
here.
a good point.
Did somebody say that you can't?
That is a very good point.
You can't. We can only screen so many calls per week.
I'm taking my first one without Andrew. Hi, good morning. You got to turn your radio down, though. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, can you tell me where Starbucks is going to be put in North Utica?
Starbucks in North Utica is going to be at the harbor, isn't it? Do we know where, though, at Harbor Point, Andrew?
There is no.
We don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a huge area. Is
We
it?
have Dave Short on. Maybe he'll know. Maybe later on this morning.
Well, and I think the idea is, too, they're going to build, again, unless the Starbucks is going to be 2,200 square feet, I think other facilities or businesses may go into that main facility.
I think I read it's going to be over 2,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
It will be.
Yeah. Right.
Where, sir? I'm sorry.
It's going to be at Harbor Point.
If you wade into the water for a little bit, you'll eventually find it.
So my guess is you'll be able to see it from North Genesee Street. I don't know.
You know when they're going to start it or what?
We don't. It's all beginning now. It's got to go to the planning board and all of that. But if you're that
No
need
Starbucks downtown.
If you're that in need of a cup of coffee, there's a Starbucks up at Consumer Square.
All right, thank you.
Okay, goodbye now.
This is going
We
to be
are
a great
totally
morning.
canceling this no screener thing.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
telling
say,
you.
that's not-
Oh boy. Hi, good morning. You're on the radio. Who's this?
Hello. We have an important message about your car's extended warranty. Please press 1 now.
Good morning, Jeff.
I had to do it to you, Bill.
I get usually about 20 of those a week. Yeah. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, my friends.
So, what are we calling
Just
about?
had to
Or
enjoy
you're-
the no phone screen Friday.
No phone screen Friday. I'm kind of already enjoying it a little bit. You never know what you're going to get.
Jeff, since you mentioned the extended warranty thing, I'll tell you, I was listening as they called me because I you get them every day.
Yeah.
One of the calls I got was to press 2 to stop receiving these calls. Right now they come from the 518 area code. They were all 315 before. I still get them.
I was getting them from Rochester.
Now they just changed the area code.
Yeah. Yeah.
My phone number is still registered in South Carolina because I got it when I moved down there 20-odd years ago. And I get them from, like, Colorado, from St. Louis.
Well, and I have to say it kills me when I get Colorado because I pick those up because my son is out there. So when you see it, you're worried, all right, what's going on? Somebody's calling me from Colorado. So I answer them like an idiot. And it's all about my warranty and my car. Whatever. All right there, Jeff. Thanks, man. It'll be interesting to see how many
have a good weekend.
How many names we actually know when people do call in.
Oh, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll
Guess
be,
who it is.
That'll be our little contest.
I think I'm really good at that game.
So far, you called Jeff, and I don't know. You noticed my voice in the background on the last call.
Is that Bill? I'm calling from the future.
I hear Bill in the background.
Is that Bill on delay on FXV?
Tonya Power is going to talk about the Lee Zeldin. We'll talk to her coming up in a few minutes. It is Friday. By the way, today, this is what we kind of warned about earlier in the week. While the forecast looks incredible, and yesterday was just gorgeous.
Loved it.
Today, not so much. It's not going to be such a nice day today.
Wait, what?
We're probably not even going to hit 70 today. But I think we're calling for what? 68 is the high?
68, 69, possibility of rain showers. Mostly it's going to be cloudy
It's
skies.
going to be an overcast day today.
All right, speaking of the
But
weather,
tomorrow, holy moly.
Ann wanted me to mention to you, let's see here. She sent a message last night. It was about your forecast. Temp for Saturday, 79.
Yeah.
To me, I would say that's 80. Scary, but I agree with Bill again.
Can you believe it? Me and
It's
Ann?
happening more and more every day.
Yeah, we're on the same page. As a matter of fact, Ann called me yesterday and said, you want to do phone screener free Friday.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
it's Ann's great idea.
I got to write the title down because I keep changing it, don't I? Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Chesty Puller. I got a quick show note for you because when these telemarketers call, right?
Yes, sir.
They spoof your ID. You just tell them that it's a funeral home. They hang up right away. I swear to God. It works.
All right.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
You do the same. Thank you.
I know.
This is the Wellington Funeral Home.
What we should do is have our man Frank, who does all the trivia questions, give us some good funeral home names.
That's a good idea. When I get the window people that call, the out of town window people, and I already have that taken care of with New York Sash.
Yeah.
But these out of town
companies, you should
companies,
tell them that too.
I tell them I live in a basement. We have no windows, and it always stops them in their tracks, and they're like, "Oh, all right, well that's really cool. Okay, sorry to bother you," and then they just hang up, and that's the end of it.
If it were only that easy with other things.
As a kid, as my father was building our house, we started living in the basement, so it's an easy one for me. We had windows, though. There were the little basement windows, but we had windows. But that's a good one. That's a good one.
I did hear that the Starbucks will be located specifically, and this comes from an official source, in the Fairfield Inn parking lot.
Okay. So
directly across from
Moe's. Quite visible then. Quite visible. Okay, let's see what else. I wanted to talk about this Mets game. If Major League Baseball is going to do instant replay, why don't they just do instant replay? Instead, it's very much like football. I have the same problem there. I'm sorry. I know this is obvious. I know looking on the instant replay, it is clear that A, B, and C is correct. But that is not something we can review. So it's an unreviewable play. Therefore, we're going to allow it to go incorrectly. And that's really what happened at the end of the Mets game yesterday.
So here's what I think is interesting. The football thing you mentioned, this was the rule for the Saints that cost them a trip to go to the Super Bowl, or was it to go to the conference championship game? But that was the egregious pass interference call that was never called. Then they changed the rule.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I think is interesting is, let's just say, and I look, you're correct. It's the wrong call to make. He put his elbow out there. That shouldn't be rewarded.
So the pitch came in. It was 2 strikes. That would have been the 3rd strike. And it was inside, but it was in the strike zone. It was a strike. As a matter of fact, the ump even called it a strike, but then signaled that it had brushed up against his arm, therefore hit by pitch. Bases were loaded. It drove in a run. Game over. They were tied at the time. But you clearly could see, number one, the rule apparently is that you got to move out of the way. If it's in the strike zone, you have to move out of the way. He did not move out of the way, and the replay showed not only did he not move out of the way, but he moved into the ball slightly.
So what's interesting is that's a judgment call that the ump can make anyway. So I guess the thought is that he would go back and see it again and change his judgment call. I wonder if that's why it's not on the list.
And they said it's not reviewable.
Yeah, that's
now he could
everything should be up for debate.
The hit by pitch is reviewable. So he could have said, you know what, he was not. I thought he was hit by a pitch, but he wasn't. If he was hit by a pitch, it brushed up against him. It was very close.
I mean, obviously it changes it because that was the game deciding call.
Right.
If it had happened in the 3rd inning and there was nobody on base, it's a different story. If somebody leans in,
it would have been
hit by pitch.
Yes, it would have been a different story. But you know that Mattingly still would have argued that call. I mean.
Yeah, and well, it's the same thing with the football analogy that I gave. I don't remember the exact details, but it was something like this. You know, if you miss a pass interference call with 10 minutes left in the first quarter, you shrug it off. That was 4th and the game, right?
Yeah. You're still pretty furious, but you shrug it off. Now you're really mad if it decides the game.
That was that did decide the game. Now, that would have made 2 outs, and Pete Alonso was up next with bases loaded. But now with 2 outs.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was the 2nd or the 3rd.
That was the 2nd out. Yep. So I'm pretty sure that was the 2nd out.
The Mets steal a win. We'll take it. I mean, look.
Yeah,
beggars can't be choosers.
It's not how you want to win your opening day at home.
Right. It was cool to see McNeil hit the game tire I watched that on the replay.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And he hit a bomb.
Oh, he threw his bat, too. I think it was his first hit of the season.
The minute it came off his bat, he knew, and it was it's funny because I have I walked away from the game. The Mets were down 2-1, and I walked away and then went back and saw that they had won the game, but it was still in the bottom of the ninth. They hadn't won the game. They were up 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth, and the game was still active. And I'm okay. Something must be going on because this should say final, but it didn't say final. It said bottom of the ninth.
They were reviewing it.
It was still in review, and they were battling it out. So that was the reason. So I went back and watched the the last few minutes of the game, and that's what I saw.
And you're right. I checked. It would have been the second out.
Out, yeah. And Alonso would have been up. Now it's possible he could have just grounded out, or fly out. It's over. You're going into extra innings, but hey, I guess we'll take the win. Let's see. This morning, Assemblyman Brian Miller is on in regards to the budget. We'll talk to Dr. Hall in the 7 o'clock hour. Anthony Pacini, county executive, is on. Dave Short. Later on this morning, Leaf It to the Curb is back. We're in that time of year. And it's No Phone Screen Friday. No Phone Screen Friday. Andrew is in the studio with us today. And, the nice thing is we're all vaccinated or have had the virus.
Right.
So we're in a pretty good place right now. And but Fridays, who knows? If this goes well, we'll do it every Friday till we get sick of it. And
until the studio's too cold for my liking.
But for now, this is what we're going to try.
So far, out of 5 stars, I give it 1.
You don't like it. You don't like it. Michael says no phone screener. Hope the old hater that claims he was paid in CDs years ago doesn't call in. That is a funny one. Hi, good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, hi. I was watching baseball tonight last night, and they were talking about that Met play.
This is Mike from Utica.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And the controversy on that was it hit his elbow pad. Okay, so what they were discussing was, is it you got to hit the batter, or can you hit his equipment? And that's where the big controversy was on that play. They were discussing
are you talking about the Mets game?
Yeah.
Well, if that's what they were arguing about, that was a different argument than what the argument was. Because the whole argument during the game was that Conforto actually moved his elbow into the ball. And the real argument is that he didn't try to get out of the way. If it's in the strike zone, which the ball clearly was, he has to get out of the way. And he did not make a move to get out of the way.
Well, there was a walk-off hit by pitch. Is that what you were talking about, the walk-off hit by pitch?
Yes, that's right.
Because Buck Showalter and they were arguing about the hitting the pad.
Hitting the equipment versus hitting the...
Well, you've seen that before where it's kind of grazed the uniform. Or
Yeah, that's another argument. I just think the ump definitely missed it, but so did the second base umpire. The second base umpire should have been able to see that the batter did not try to get out of the way. The second base umpire should have been able to call that.
That's true, but the way they were talking was the issue with the elbow pad. So
okay, all right. Well, that's another issue, I guess. So, okay, thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
Have a great day. So far, this is going really well.
I agree.
Really, really well. I want to tell you about the Grand Rehabilitation and Nursing, giving you the proper therapy you need while making you feel as safe as you would in your own home. They follow every possible safety protocol and PPE guideline to keep you safe while you get well. You would have to go in and get the scheduled person on the air. Right. Like Tonya's, you'll have to get that. What was I talking about? Oh, the Grand. Their staff goes above and beyond your expectations with the warmth and comfort of home. They have lots of extras to make you as comfortable as they possibly could be. Acclaimed guest services program. It's almost like the Grand has a concierge department. Amazing dining, extra amenities. They have tablets that are available for people. So maybe it's an iPad or that sort of thing. Allows you to stay connected with family through email or messages. Also, you could watch your own personal program on Netflix, all from the comfort of the Grand, the long-term health care you deserve at the Grand Rehabilitation and Nursing, offering 360-degree care 365 days a year. Whether you're looking for an extended stay or short-term rehabilitation, The friendly staff and calming surroundings will turn your stay into an experience that truly is grand. The Grand Rehabilitation and Nursing, following every possible COVID-19 safety protocol and PPE guideline. They have locations in Rome, Utica, Ilion, and Chittenango. For more information, visit them at thegrandhealthcare.com. Comets play at home tonight. I believe there's still some tickets available. How are you handling your testing situation? Because we're both one shot into the vaccine.
Yeah.
And which means we have to get a test. And the test has to be within 6 hours of game time.
The antigen test?
No, you could do a rapid test if you'd like.
Okay. Maybe, is that what an antigen test is?
I have no clue.
The antigen is rapid.
It is rapid?
PCR is the...
Okay. So we have to, sometime after 1 o'clock, get a test today.
Okay.
And then you cross your fingers that a false positive doesn't come along. Because then you're vacationing.
Positive.
Well,
it might as well be a positive.
Right, it doesn't matter. Rachel, I should say Tonya Powers. Am I correct in saying that, Andrew? Tanya's on the line now.
How are you handling it?
I think I'm going to do the rapid test today.
Thank God for that vaccine card. Wait till you get your second. It's great.
I was going to try to go to the black market and buy a fake vaccine card, but I thought that might be illegal. Tonya J. Powers standing by on the line right now. Good morning, Tonya. Good morning.
Good morning. You guys got to get tested for something?
So we actually have a hockey game tonight for the first time. They're allowing 10% capacity fans in the stadium or in the arena.
Oh.
And we have tickets to go tonight. So in order to go, though, you have to show full vaccination 14 days out, or whatever the number is, depending on the vaccination you get, or a negative test within 6 hours of game time, and that's what we have to do today.
Oh, okay.
So like Andrew,
you're going to get a rapid test.
And we're going to get a rapid test, yeah. And I have to say that I'm one shot in. Jeff is one shot in. Andrew's one shot, but took the Johnson and Johnson shot. So, but, we've had it. And I've had it. Andrew's had it. So I feel
Jeff
like
basically had it. I mean,
he
had it by
to,
association.
Yeah. But it is something, Tonya, to know that you're going to an event. It's something we haven't done in over a year.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. That's really, really interesting to think about.
It is.
I'm not ready yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I do. And just as this is all happening, you see reports coming out of Michigan that they've had, 2,500 or whatever number of people who have tested positive after getting the vaccine. And they say the number is still within that 5% non-effective rate. But
Michigan's numbers are not good.
Michigan is not good. No, not at all. Let's see. And the numbers in New York for Governor Cuomo have been faltering over the last several weeks. And, of course, it's because of all of these women coming forward saying that there were these awkward experiences that they've had with the governor. And the one in particular, she says that he actually reached up her shirt. Anyway, with that, Republicans smelling some blood in the water here, and it looks like we have a new gubernatorial candidate in New York.
Yes, Representative Lee Zeldin, who is a Republican and avid supporter of former President Trump. He has thrown his hat in the ring and says he is going to enter the race. Declared this yesterday, the 2022 race for governor of the state. So this should be really interesting. He's not the only one. Apparently, Lee Stefanik hasn't officially announced or anything, but she's been hearing support from people around the state. And so, who knows? There may be two of the prominent Republicans in the state who are going to challenge him.
Yeah,
I think he hasn't said he's.
The last time we had a Republican in office, it was Governor Pataki, who upended then Governor Mario Cuomo, the father of
very
the
unexpectedly.
Governor. Yeah.
It will be interesting, Tonya, because not only will there be several Republicans vying for this opportunity to possibly take advantage of the governor's shortfalls, but probably other Democrats will be looking to do the same and primary him.
Yeah, that could happen too. I mean, the Republicans are going to have an uphill battle. Let's just, call it what it is, because they haven't won a statewide election since 2002 in New York, and Democrats outnumber them, more than 2-1 in the state. So it's going to be an uphill battle for whoever on the Republican side. I mean, do we think that Cuomo, he can run again if he wants to, right?
He could. Yep, he could.
Oh, he will.
I'm thinking that he'll probably, say, okay, I'm gonna.
We're going to let the people of New York decide if I should be impeached or not.
I would think that, and by the way, Rob Astorino was another one that's being tossed around. He's already run against Cuomo before.
Right.
I got to tell you, if you look at the numbers right now, polling, based on polling only, and, that is, we can argue about that, but just take that for what it is. Cuomo wins today. He still would win.
Over who?
Yeah.
Over anybody.
Anybody. He still has a lot of support.
Yeah, even Stefanik. Stefanik would be the leading candidate at this point for opposition. And he still beats Stefanik by double digits. That's polling.
Yeah.
So I think the problem with this, and I know I completely understand, and I'm shocked that Cuomo has not stepped down. But Tonya, this does seem to be. It's like there's been no case, even the case where he supposedly reached up under the shirt. The word is that they're saying, the governor's office is going to say that was a consensual situation. So you still have, it's still not, it hasn't reached the level that some of these other cases have. And the other part of this is that Cuomo is defiant, it seems. He's not stepping down.
Well, he is defiant. And there's a couple of things to remember here. The investigations aren't over.
Right.
The state AG's investigation is not finished. Neither is the one from the FBI and the Brooklyn DA, I think, that's doing into the nursing homes. I mean, all of this is still kind of up in the air. So I'm not surprised that he hasn't said that he's going to step down.
Yeah.
Because you've still got all this other stuff that's sort of out there, and that we don't have the final say from them on. It'll remain to be seen how he does this. But I mean, it's not unheard of for a politician to just go, nope, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to do my job. I'm going to plow on here, and he may come out being reelected. Who knows?
And don't get me wrong, I feel that what is alleged that he did is terrible, and it's taking advantage of young women. It seems when you're in a position of power, that is horrible. And I thought we'd gotten to a point where that was just not going to be tolerated these days. But it has not reached. The only one that's reached the possibility of any criminality is the latest one that she was just recently talking again, where he apparently, she says, groped him. But if that turns out that it's, there's a debate over whether or not it was consensual, again, it places him in a position where he's saying, don't judge me until all the information is out there.
It does.
And by the way, with other people involved, when it was Cuomo commenting on other cases, he never said that. He never said, "Hey, stop! This is America. You're innocent until proven guilty." He called for those people to step down. So I guess it's different when you're in the hot seat yourself. Crazy.
It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out.
And one other note here, Tonya, upstate. I think the upstate is far more critical of Governor Cuomo. What do you, based on what I've seen downstate, and you live there, I feel like the people downstate are giving the governor the benefit of the doubt here.
I haven't talked to a lot of people, out about this. Honestly, I haven't gone out and discussed this with other people, on the street and stuff, covering it that way. But just kind of from what I've seen, he does seem to have a lot of support. I mean, there are going to be people who are going to look at the way he handled the pandemic and getting the numbers down when things were so bad here, and they're going to go, well, he said he was going to get the numbers down, and that's what he did. there's going to be a lot of people who remember that and say, well, this other stuff is, it may be bad, but, I can overlook, the antics of a politician because, that's not new in the realm of politics, it's not new for a politician to, have stuff like this to come out. This is definitely not the first time we've seen that kind of stuff. But there may be people who are able to just go, that's not as important to me as some of the other stuff that's gotten done.
I do know that, and it's got to be downstate as well. The nursing home issue is a very, very bad issue, and is a really bad issue upstate. But I think it is in the city as well.
Oh yeah. There's definitely people who are still very, very angry. I mean, they lost loved ones, and understandably so.
Okay, very interesting, Tonya. We'll be following this one, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk about it. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thanks,
Tonya J. Powers. Enjoy the weekend. From Fox News.
If you factor in the claim that Frank Policelli made, the lawsuit he's bringing, he can't run again.
I got to tell you, I've spoken with a few people on that, and they feel that, and I know Frank will disagree with this, but I've had two attorneys tell me that that's pie in the sky, that lawsuit is going nowhere.
But even the changing of the nursing home numbers.
And the thing that is, but it seems like he's gotten through that.
Right.
That seems to be an issue of the past now.
Yeah.
But
because of the sexual harassment,
the Policelli lawsuit, by the way, is not just Policelli. There are several attorneys on this thing, but I've spoken with two attorneys who have both said that they. You're talking about a guy who has been so careful about the allegation is blatant that money is being laundered, and this is a tall order to try to prove on Andrew Cuomo. But then again, who would have thought he'd be looking at all of these sexual allegations?
Well, he should have thought. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what now. Frank, if you talk to Frank, this is the biggie. This is the one everybody should be paying attention to. Not the sexual stuff is all a distraction from all of this. So we'll see. All right, coming up next hour, we'll talk to Assemblyman Brian Miller on the New York State budget. Senator Griffo coming out in disagreement with the budget. There are issues on some of the high profile issues include the marijuana legalization. What does all of that mean? I don't think we still know what all of it means. And then the other big one is the mobile banking. The eco-checking account for an Adirondack Bank.
It's on
included in the state budget.
Because money just doesn't grow on trees.
It doesn't. Paperless billing, paperless statements.
Gambling, the online sports betting. So, and that could cause problems, of course, with the Oneida Indian Nation and other Native American gambling situations that are out there across the state. So, going to be interesting. We'll speak with Brian Miller coming up in a few minutes. Also, free money question of the day. We've had 4 winners in the last week and a half. Crazy, right? 3 or 4 winners, anyway. And we'll take another shot at it. Got a great question this morning we'll throw at you. And Dr. Kent Hall. Dr. Fauci out making some predictions yesterday. And you take a look at Michigan, what's going on there. What does he think? We'll speak with him. The county executive is on later on this morning as well. All of that coming up. By the way, we gave away a pair of tickets for tonight's game yesterday. We took dozens of people that were simply submitting names and saying, this person or I feel I should be the winner of the tickets. We chose to go random drawing. The first winner was Stefan Rubitsky.
Yes, for his friend.
Whose name was also Andrew. But when we called Andrew said, I knew nothing about it, which I think we know is true.
Yes.
And he said, I can't go.
Right. And Stefan apologized vehemently again last night on Facebook.
Yes, yeah. We then drew another name, and the winner was RV
in Westmoreland.
From Westmoreland, who also could not go, but chose to give his winnings to his daughter, I believe.
His son.
Yeah.
Son and
daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
So they will be going to see the Comets play Rochester tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. Can you imagine? And by the way, both of them are vaccinated. Can you imagine there'll be butts in the seat tonight?
Yeah, and so this is actually the second game fans are being allowed back because you have to factor in the Utica College game.
You're right.
So, but it's still exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's very cool.
I feel the same way.
And the all-you-can-eat, too.
That's such a nice feature of that.
Oh, right. I know what you're talking about. I worried about what you said there. Sorry. You're right. All you can eat, almost all you can drink. Because I think there's a limit on the drinks. They have to have a limit there.
Yeah.
Well, with the blue and blue light, which is fine with me. It's all So it's very. It's a cool thing to do. It's something you haven't been able to do for a long time, and who knows when you're going to be able to do it again.
Right, because
there's no guarantee they even play tonight, let alone next week or the next 6 home games they have.
Can everybody from the opposing team in the comments stay isolated for the next 12 hours?
The parent club, Vancouver, almost everybody on the team is down now with COVID. So,
it's unreal.